Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the Cuckoo's Fiancee, Chapter 31. When we last left our heroes, Nagi and Hiro kind of talked about their feelings regarding Nagi dropping to 13th place in the class rank, which led to Hiro commenting on how much better Nagi is feeling about his defeat than he was initially, and her own kind of dissatisfaction with that because Erika was the one who made him happy, in her own words. So there's some development there, which did seem to set Nagi off back on the Team Hero train, until Erika came in saying that if she does not pass the makeup exam, her father will drag her back to live with him again. So yeah, let's jump right on into Chapter 31. Chapter 31, let's go. And so we open seemingly right where we left off last time. Your exam is in 2 days? Yep, on Monday. Their crazy life together is in danger. The only way out is for Erika to ace this exam. 31st foul, my destiny has always been to do whatever my father says. So when I first saw that title a few minutes ago, when I clicked on the chapter, my first thought was that that this was leaning towards a hero chapter, despite last chapter's setup. Just because the Destiny talk is kind of tied with Hero, as we saw in that scene in the rain several chapters ago. And there's always been this sense that Hero is being railroaded onto this path by her parents, what with the other fiancé that we don't know about. But now that I've had a moment to think about it, I think it is going to be tied into Erika's feelings of helplessness in the face of her father, as we've seen a couple of times in the past. Specifically, the start of that Sachi arc. Anyway, basically, you need to spend this weekend teaching me everything on this test. We have to ace this. Pretty sure you got yourself into this. You're kinda acting like a big shot. I'm just desperate is all. Still, this is sudden. Why would he tell you to come home? Well, look, this is the first test I've taken since transferring to your school. And we see what she's already told Sachi. 243rd of 243 students. I don't have to tell you that getting last is a problem. And Nagi's trying to hold back his laughter. You certainly don't. Just listen, Nagi-kun. There's so many smart people at your school. The lessons go so fast I can't keep up, and the tests are just insane. That might be because you don't study. How do you do at your old school? Well, I never got last. I always got the practice questions right with my tutor, but now I don't have one. And she kind of looks at him. Come on, don't look at me. Why did I even get transferred to a school like this anyway? I wonder why. It's so strange. How are you putting the blame for that on Nagi when you're the one who was... Oh no, actually didn't Nagi accidentally post that picture to her Instagram? So yeah, it is super his fault. I'm only gonna say this once. I had to study too. I need you to put your head down and really focus. Erika's already, like, jumped into this kind of... My first instinct is, like, a train conductor's uniform, maybe? And she, like, salutes. You got it, Sarge. Are you taking this seriously? My motto is, whatever you do, make it fun. How about a commemorative photo, Sarge? No photos. And he, like, waves her away. We're starting with math. If you screw around, I'll have you drummed out of this army. So I guess it's more of an army aesthetic she's going for. Yes, Sarge. And so she's working at the table. He's at the desk working. Excuse me, Sarge. I don't understand something. Already? It's this question. And I'm not gonna bore y'all with math, because I was an English minor in college. I don't know that shit. The math book gives the explanation of the problem and the answer. Read those first. Sergeant Meany, I have a question. Someone's insubordinate. What's this pie thing? Oh, rip. Oh, you're in a bad spot, Erika. If Arthur Boyle knows more about something than you do, that's rough. And Nagi's just slack-jawed. That's the problem? I hate this stuff, so I never really paid attention. It's pi. It's the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. Generally, it's written as 3.14. What, really? Why would it be 3.14? And Nagi just looks at her. Seriously? So in short, and he's doing this kind of like a hexagon in a circle. The number we get from this hexagon is a number with an infinitely long expansion, approximated as 3.14. Oh, I see. And Nagi's just like, annoyed or something. But could you explain it again? And Nagi just like wide-eyed, dead-faced. Wait, what? It's already been 3 hours since we started? Where does the time... Or I think this is still Erika. Where does the time go? But like 3.14, if they need to write it as something, why use pi? If they want a symbol, why not use like a smiley face? It'd be so cute. Way to go, Erika. You know what? We should replace all Greek letters with emojis. I do feel like though Erika's being written a little bit stupider here than she usually is. Like she's not a book smart person at all, of course, but like it's a kind of a ditzier air than she normally puts on. Though maybe there's some deeper meaning to that. Nagi asks her, "Come on, are you serious about this? What are you talking about? I've been fighting for my life against these questions. But it's been 3 hours and you haven't solved a single one. It feels like you're not even trying." Well, I mean, I need to beat Seguo-san. And that means I've got my own studying to deal with. And he turns back to his books. And Erika gets up and kind of huffs. "Oh, I see how it is. Then fine. How about I just go home now? By all means." And Erika is like, stops in the doorway. "I get it. I know that I don't have a chance to pass this exam. And Dad knows it too. That's his plan. He's just making me come home." And Nagi doesn't even look at her. Seems like it. "Nagi-kun, ever since I met you, I've really been trying to be independent. But I guess this is how it ends. My destiny has always been to do whatever my father says." And there's our title line, like I said, from Erika. But I'm curious if the destiny connection will rouse Nagi. And he thinks out, "Destiny, huh? You know, if Amano-san ends up going home, would that mean Sachi and I would have to go home too?" And he looks up and he thinks, how long have we been here? 2 months? I couldn't really settle in at first, but when I went home before, it felt like a distant memory. And he like pats his desk. "This is a nice desk. I really started to like it. My bed too. Am I gonna go back to having to lay out a futon every day?" That's what really motivates Nagi. Not the hero connection I was kind of feeling at the top of page 11, but the desire to not be poor. Or not, because he just thinks, well, that's life, I guess. And then later that night, he goes downstairs and he sees Sachi laying on the couch under a blanket on her phone. And he asks, "What the? You're still up, Sachi?" "Yeah, I'm sleeping down here tonight. I'm guessing you and Erika got into a fight." He looks back at her kind of grinning. "No, she's studying right now." And that stops Nagi in his tracks. "Huh, I see. Don't act like you didn't know. If she fails her exam, she's going to have to move back home. Why aren't you helping her study?" "I did help her, but she seems like she's already planning to move out." And Sachi pouts. "Don't give me that crap. You're the one who's planning on going home." That's a take I'm not sure that she has the evidence to back up. What's the big deal? It's not like we'll never see her again. And Sachi stops, and Nagi goes back upstairs, and Sachi just murmurs, "Nagi, you big jerk." And then, as Nagi goes upstairs, he looks at Sachi's door and thinks back to, or at Erika's door, and thinks back to what Sachi said. She's studying right now. Why would it be 3.14? I'll help you out. You're such a hard worker, Nagi-kun. You're still you. He's flashing back to, all of those moments with Erika, which, as our resident Team Erika shipper, I'm big on. It's just 3.14. And then he burst open into her room. "All right, listen up. You don't know the first thing about studying." And Erika, who's now changed like a kind of short sleeve hoodie with this like headband thing on. Why are you barging into my room? It doesn't matter what pi is or why. Forget trying to think about things like a scholar. Your only focus for this test is going to be the key parts, which means we're doing memory drills. That's actually kind of an interesting note. I was calling Erika ditzy earlier, but it seems like at least Nagi is framing it as she's trying to get to why things are the way they are, which is not exactly what she needs for this test. And so Nagi sits down. "Let's start." "Start what?" Like I already said, it's fine. You're working hard for Hiro-chan, right? I'm just going to be a burden to you." And Nagi just looks at her. You think I'd be burdened by the likes of you? I'm not that soft. The likes of me? Besides, why are you studying? I thought you were just going to let destiny carry you back home. Because I don't want to go home? And Erika pauses for a moment. Then just say that. I don't want to go home, so I want you to teach me to study. What do you think I've been? Your problems? They're my problems too. You're my fiancé after all. There's that good shit. There is that good Team Erika shit that we are all here for. Yeah. And then, Erika's just, and then Nagi, slams his fist on the table, and Erika kind of jumps back. I'm going to change your destiny. And I'm curious if that is in any way tied to what he said to Hiro all those chapters ago, where he made a similar promise to her. Interestingly, though, he was planning to do that by making Hiro drop in the rankings, and Erika, he wants to raise her in the rankings. It's an interesting dichotomy between the two of them. And Erika just stares at him wide-eyed for a moment before she turns around. You're gonna change? If you're gonna talk like a big shot, then come here and take responsibility. And then Nagi shouts out, for the next 3 days, I'm in charge. You hear me? You really are Sergeant Mimi. Next time, the summer festival kicks off and everyone's invited. The curtain rises on a night of chaos. Well, the lead cover page, next issue. Yeah. So that's the end. Our last page is Black Cat Scanlations putting something out. Not important for our purposes. So yeah, this is a really fun chapter. I'm a little shocked that they did not make, if the hero connection is what they were going for with Destiny, I'm a little shocked they did not make it a little more explicit, because I think it was kind of easily looked over in this context. If I was not thinking about that scene, I don't know that I would have brought it up. Or that I would have thought of it if I had not already been kind of, for some reason, thinking towards that scene before the chapter started. But yeah, then we see Sachi pushing Nagi towards Erika, which I hope is kind of an acceptance that she's not going to end up with him, because she shouldn't, because they are siblings. But off that soapbox. And we get Nagi kind of accepting that honestly, I'm shocked that Nagi is all of a sudden super okay with the You're My Fiancé after all. I mean, I'm assuming it's kind of the same vein that led him towards responding with the not yet to Erika back in that arc. Whenever that was. I think that was 28, I want to say. But yeah, that's... Trying to think of anything else. I've lost train of thought for a moment. But yeah, then we see Nagi kind of take charge, and hopefully at least help Erika enough that she can stay. I mean, he probably will, just because, that would kind of end the setup, and any setup ending moment kind of is inevitably pushed back. Just, if we're not nearing the end, and I don't think we're nearing the end, even vaguely yet. But yeah, honestly, there isn't a whole lot to dig into here, I don't think. There's some interesting things about Erika, the way she thinks about problems, the way she thinks about, why things are the way they are, and not just the things that normal high schoolers would think of, oh, pi is this number, and so let's move on. I'm curious how and if that's going to come up again in the future. But yeah, all that being said, it's kind of a simple chapter, a good, Erika, Nagi bonding chapter, which I'm always here for. But it's really not that complex this time. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say for this chapter. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!